On Saturday, voter turnout was very low for the election that day, but those who did cast ballots overwhelmingly voted against Sheriff Susan Hutson's request for a tax increase, a property tax increase. 91% of New Orleans voters who voted disagreed with that hike, now forcing the sheriff's office to find another way to fill what it calls critical funding. If it had been approved, that millage would have increased property taxes just on the sheriff's portion, but that will not be the case. Sheriff Hutson is joining us now this morning. You were supposed to come in on Friday, but you had a prisoner escape. He has since been caught.
Yeah, we knew where he was within 30 minutes of him escaping, and we were sitting on the house, putting our team together to go in and get him out, and he surrendered. So that was very peaceful. All right,
and I assume it did not come as a surprise. One of the things I heard from a lot of political analysts is that you did not do a big enough campaign to get the voter out. The people who were against the tax had signs everywhere around town.
That's right, and I agree with that. This is all me, and this is for my deputies, because this was all about them. They deserve this raise, so I've got to own that and do better. When we got to meet with people and explain to them we have a broken jail, broken IT system, we need better training, we've got to have better resources, people got it. But I didn't get to do all that one-on-one conversation with people. We'll be able to do that going forward.
When you say you put the blame squarely on yourself, this office has been plagued by, and not trying to be hard on you, but a lot of dysfunction since you took over. And do you think it was the long transfer period, or began with the long transfer period for you replacing the former sheriff? And do you in any way feel that you were sabotaged at all in your transfer?
Yeah, during the transition, we didn't have a real transition where I could have done all the learning parts of being the sheriff, so we didn't really have that. So when we hit the ground running, which was actually on May 1st, I got the keys to the kingdom instead of May 2nd, we did have it was a big learning curve, but I pushed back on the dysfunction. We had to learn, we had to take over what is broken here and try and fix that. Learn on the fly, assess, create a game plan to fix it, and then move forward on that. So I'm proud of this team.
But you did tell me a few months ago that you thought there was some sabotage going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Internally, I had to remove some people because they could not get with the new program, and that was problematic. And they were poisoning the air, so to speak, for the rest of the employees. So I had to remove some people. I've had to talk to employees about, we are guardians. We are not here to punish people. The punishment is their loss of liberty. So changing the culture is not a one-year thing. That's going to take time to do. But I think slowly our employees are getting that.
And I know you agree with the title of dysfunction, but a lot of people do feel it was that way, because even after you got rid of some of the people that were holdovers, you brought in your own people. You had to get rid of a bunch of management people. You brought in some arguably questionable people in the beginning.
Now, again, I want to push back on that. There's an HR department in every agency because you have to manage people. That is part of the process. And so that's a normal part. But I want to talk about the number of public records requests I've gotten for what I think is just mess. It's not about the work of the office. Nobody's asking me about how the day-to-day activities are running. It's just about, can I get this person's emails and can I see what's going on there? So it's not been about the work. And I know that the former sheriff was not getting this number, because I went through a campaign in which two people died during the campaign, and there was not that much reporting on that. So I know it's not been fair, and I am pushing back on that.
And the other thing, and I told you last time you were here, I've heard from a lot of people, they thought you may have gotten in over your head, that a lot of people wanted change in the sheriff's office, but had a little buyer's remorse after you got in, and there started to be problems.
Yeah. If you don't think there are problems in the jail, I don't think you know anything about jails. All across the country, it's the same. You have the same thing going on. Staffing shortages, you have to manage the behavior of the people in the jail. We are getting our federal government to come in and help us to do that. Better training, better data. I keep trying to tell our community we've got to collect better data about how we perform, but that is all about upgrading these IT systems. So jails are problems and have problems. So I think we're managing it well. We came in with a bang on the first year. I had an officer involved shooting in the first week, fake escapes, overdoses, you name it, it was all going down. Then we had the unrest. It's been a full year.
Well, and one thing I will compliment you on is you said you were going to come in as a more transparent sheriff. It took us a lot of time to get you on the show, but you've been on within 2 weeks. You've been on twice. So will you keep being more available to come on our program more?
Yeah, absolutely. When I think about transparency, I think about data. So we've spent this year trying to get, really pushing to get the funds that we need to upgrade our data structure. It makes it difficult for me to give out information. But now that this first year has been about grinding. I've been in the office, making sure I put my stamp and my vision on our plan to change things. Now it's time to get out in the community and talk. And I'm very excited about what this year is going to hold.
And this election did show you need to get out and do more, including coming on television and going to more public events.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't win sheriff on the first ballot either, and not even close. But we doubled down on our community, went out and talked to people, talked about our platform, and we won. And we're going to win on this too.
All right, Sheriff Hutson, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And we'll wait to see you again on the program.
Thank you.
All right, Peyton.